You are listening to Win on KZKO. Check them out every Monday from 4 to 5 p.m. Mountain Time. Only on KZKO The Vibe.
Listen up, partners. This is Good, Bad, Ugly on World Improv Network.
Good evening, everyone. I am Alex.
And my name is Asa.
I am Jim.
And we are your astute wind counselors to get you through any problems you may have or any daily grind issues that you're currently facing. And in recognition of Gretchen from last week, who wrote in from Stockholm, Sweden, and whose question ultimately did not get answered, let's get to her first. Gretchen wrote, Dear Win, with the 2014 being the deadliest year in airplane disaster history, do you think I should still fly to Southeast Asia for my winter holiday? What do you think, Jim?
Good Lord, no.
Yeah. Why not? Just flat out no, huh?
Yeah. Well, I don't think planes are disappearing in Southeast Asia. That's like it's the new Bermuda Triangle. Like, you could not pay me enough to go there. And you, Gretchen, should remain where you are in the safe whiteness of Sweden.
Well, I'm going to have to take it a step further. Actually, not only the Bermuda Triangle is awaiting you down in Southeast Asia, but you'll also have to probably fly over the Ukraine on the way, in which case you might get shot down by a Russian missile. So, yeah, staying in good old safe white Sweden up there in the snow and the sunshine and your little igloos and ice castles might be a better bet. What do you think, Ace?
I'd say, yeah, go ahead and fly down there, but I would not take an airplane. I'd probably recommend a hot air balloon.
Oh, that's true. Those are really reliable. They never go down.
I'd like to alter my response and say, yeah, if you are going to fly, avoiding planes, Asa, a very good point. Fashion your own Icarus wings as well.
Oh
yeah.
I want to make an addendum to my answer, actually. Gretchen, I would say go up into space like that Baumgartner guy did for Red Bull and just dive down and fly that way directly to Southeast Asia. Yeah, with the Icarus wings. So, all right, well, there you go. I think that might be a good solution for you, Gretchen. Any one of those might work. And, yeah, let's go on to Jocelyn from Indianapolis, Indiana, who writes, Dear Win, my two young boys, 7 and 9, have been misbehaving quite regularly lately. Any ideas on how I should discipline them? Asa?
Well, it's really dependent on the behavior, but in general, I would say the closer the admonishment is to the occurrence of the behavior, the better, so that they know that...
Like a dog or a cat? Like right afterwards?
Yeah, like right afterwards. And also, like, providing some kind of rationale. You don't want to just take the iron fist approach and say, that's bad, that's wrong, end of story, I don't want to talk about it. But providing some kind of logic as to, why it's... an inappropriate or a bad behavior is really important.
What do you think, Jimbo?
Well,
I mean, you've got Baker dozen amount of kids, don't you?
Oh, yeah. I can't stop spreading my seed.
Yeah.
But I would say take kind of a Pavlovian approach.
Okay.
And it's not the most effective way to reward or punish is not to do it every time, but to be random about it. So I would randomly punish your kids when they misbehave. Let them get away with some stuff. But then occasionally, or, depending, you alter your frequency because it's random. You're going to keep them on their toes. You get in there and you punish them severely, just randomly.
I'm kind of down that line there, and I would go a little bit farther, Winter. I was just tuning into Talking Points with Shabazz Davis, and there's a guy named Jack Bauer on there who's the world-renowned leader of torturing, interrogating, and getting information from terrorists. And I would take his approach, actually. I would go in there. I would waterboard your children if they misbehave. I would torture them with some car batteries and jumper cables. And I would take a couple rotted-out pears and smack them across the face if need be to discipline them. So an iron fist is definitely the way to go on this one, especially at that age so they can really learn and it sits in, in their skull with those rotted-out pears that you're hitting them with. All right. Well, Raul of Cancun, Mexico writes, Dear Win, what do you guys think wiped out the Mayan Empire? Wow. Asa. Jeez, that's pretty heavy.
I've done some research into this, and my conclusion thus far is that there was a strain of bacteria in the maize.
Oh, in the corn?
In the corn.
Or the corn maize. Because they used to run through corn mazes. That's where the whole thing came from.
Oh.
Yeah.
I totally missed that. Well, that would make it all the more easier for the bacteria to spread.
Right.
But that's my hypothesis.
Huh. I think, Raul, dear winner, what I think would happen is it's tequila. Obviously Cancun, right? That's where you're from. They were in that area. I think it was a lot of tequila, too much tequila. And, I just found out today, actually, that the world recession is due to actually hangovers from too many holiday and weekend celebrations. So clearly they must have been hitting the tequila too hard. Therefore, they got caught slipping, and that was the end of their empire. What do you think, Jimbo?
Well, I believe in a way the Mayan people were hoist upon their own petard. There are some subtle uniquities. Is that a word? Uniquities? We're going with it. Okay. To the Mayan genetics where Mayans actually don't get cavities.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I believe that's what led to their downfall is because they didn't get any cavities to know, hey, stop eating all that sugar, and then literally everyone got diabetes.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
It's very interesting.
Yeah. And there was no insulin back then, so, hey, they just dropped like flies.
I want to make an amendment to my answer then, Raul. I want to say it's because the sugar content in agave is actually higher than it is in normal drinks. And since they were drinking so much tequila with agave in it, that led to the diabetes. Mm-hmm. Huh. Well, I don't know. I think that's probably historically correct. One of those has to be right, Raul. Clearly, we are historians at the finest here at the World Improv Network. And we got time for one more. We got Bruce from Boston, Massachusetts. He writes, Dear Win, if the 2013 Boston Marathon bombing suspect, Joe Karznaev, is found guilty, what do you think his punishment should be? Well, heck, we've been talking about punishment. What do you think, Jim?
Wow. Well, I mean, with a name like Joe Carr.
Joe Carr, yeah.
I think he should be stuck into a playing card and then kept in a very tightly packed cell with 52 other people.
Oh, I like that.
In playing cards.
Okay.
Like in Superman? Like they're in that, like...
In the Phantom Zone, those represent the flat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or also similar to maybe a Han and Carbonite.
Oh, that's a good one. I like the Carbonite, the Han thing, yeah.
And you can just stack them all up like dominoes.
Oh. Yeah, okay. Han Solo, that is, you're talking about, right?
Yeah. And just think how much that would help our prison overpopulation problem if we could just stack all our convicts, one on top of the other.
And it's very efficient, actually, too. Not only because it would help the problem, but it's actually teaching kids how to use space. And as the population continues to spread, we're running out of space.
Yep.
So, yeah, stacking prisoners like that, kind of like Jenga blocks, is kind of cool. Mm-hmm. Huh. Well, I would say, there's this guy named Jack Bauer. I heard it on the Talking Points with Shabazz Davis' segment, and he was really the world-renowned leader in torture and interrogation techniques. And I would say, essentially, sit there and beat him over the head with a couple bags of rotted-out pears until he literally cannot breathe anymore. What do you think, Ace?
I think... If he's found guilty, then he should be banished to
Middle Earth,
unending running.
Oh,
a marathon with no end.
Oh, like on a hamster wheel they could build for him, and nonstop running, huh?
Right.
Until he just Until his legs fall off, or till he passes out?
I don't know. Just he has to keep running.
That's a good idea. So that's like the Boston Ultra Marathon.
It's the Infinity Marathon.
Even better. Yeah. All right. Well, I tell you what, Bruce, looks like we probably got the right answer, so now we just got to see what happens with this court case. And we've got one little piece of information to get you through the rest of the day, known as Horoscope Corner.
Love, fortune, status. Let us do your astrological chart. Horoscope Corner on World Improv Network.
Hey, what up, Pisces? No, you're not looking at a pie. That's actually a cheesecake. And this, because your sign is currently in a setting water area of the sky, that means that you're probably going to drown in cheesecake in a dream that you'll have in the future, probably within the next day or two. But you can avoid this horrible fate if you go to the World Improv Network YouTube page, Facebook page, look us up on iTunes, like it, leave a review, give us some stars, download, listen, subscribe, and then, you won't have that dream.
Thanks for listening to Win on KZKO. Don't forget to interact with the cast by sending your suggestions for each segment throughout the week by hitting them up on Facebook at World Improv Network, Twitter at World Improv Net, or the Win KZKO blog. See you next week.
You are listening to Win on KZKO. Check them out every Monday from 4 to 5 p.m. Mountain Time, only on KZKO.